Okay, and I am back with book number 2. This one is Awakened Princess, and I'm going to read chapter 1 of this book. So, in the comments, you let me know again if you want me to continue reading this book. Okay, this book is 14 chapters long. Chapter 1. It's hard to decide if I'm more nervous or excited to be presented to the court as the crown princess. I've known plenty of the people in the ballroom since I was a small child, but that doesn't stop today being different. I'm 18, and that means father can finally announce that he's planning on making me his heir. I have no idea how people are going to take it. The kingdom loves my parents, and it's hard not to when they've made Alventia into a prosperous kingdom it is now. I pushed those thoughts to the side. It's not going to help me if I worry about it. I need to focus on proving that I'm capable and the right choice. But that's going to take time. I'm not going to manage it in an evening, especially not at 18. The door to my room pushed open and my lady's maid walked in with a tray. "Morning, princess," she says, dipping in a slight curtsy and taking it over to a small table by the window. "You can call me Kira," I reminded Sophie, wishing she wouldn't insist on being proper all the time. It gets exhausting after the first 5 minutes. "I know, but today is a big day. I thought it would be better to start it out right," she responds. I let out a long sigh. "Will you at least sit with me while I have breakfast?" I know better than to ask her if she'll eat with me. She'll refuse. "I can." She pulls out a chair and sits down, even going as far as pouring herself a cup of tea from my pot. I'm glad she's comfortable enough to do that now. I've known Sophie my entire life, but she only became my lady's maid a couple of months ago, and it changed the dynamic between us. But I still think of her as my friend. I just have to convince her I'm still hers. I pull my robe tighter around me and take a seat opposite her. She pushes my teacup closer. "Thank you." I pick it up and blow across the top so it's cool enough to drink. "What's going on today?" I ask. "What isn't?" Sophie responds. I groan. "It is bad that I was secretly hoping you'll say nothing until the ball." She chuckles. "I can say that if you want, but we both know it's a lie." "All right, tell me what has to be done." She clears her throat, pull out a sheet of paper. "You've got about an hour of free time, but after that, you'll be needed in the Great Hall to meet with ambassadors and incoming nobles." I let out a loud sigh. "Is it wrong to ask if I have to?" "You know you do," she points out, "especially as it's you they're coming to honor." I hate it when you're right. And you'd hate it if you streaked your duty. I know you, Kira. You're all about doing what you're supposed to do. Sophie reminds me before taking a drink. I know. And you're going to have to get used to it. When you're queen, there are going to be even more things you don't like doing. Don't remind me. "Don't you want to be your father's heir?" she asks. I do. But how do you know there's a but? Intuition. The corners of her lips turned up into a knowing smile. You're not as subtle as you think you are. There isn't really a but, I admit. I just sometimes wish things were different. I don't understand how I'm supposed to be someone with this huge destiny. I don't think you get any say in that, she points out. And even if you hadn't been born a princess, you might have been born with a destiny. You know as well as I do that prophecies are real. I think I know if there was one about me by now. Maybe, she shrugs, but these things can pop up at any time. Are you trying to tell me something? I pick up a slice of orange and pop it into my mouth. I promise I'm not. I hope you know that if I end up on some kind of quest to fulfill a prophecy, I'm dragging you along with me. Sophie let out a very unladylike snort. I counting on it. I could use a bit more adventure in my life. Does that mean you thought about coming to the ball tonight? I don't have a dress. Then let me be your fairy godmother and tell you about the one I had delivered for you. Her eyes widen. But a servant at a ball will cause no end of a scandal. Only if you tell someone, I point out. If you keep your mask on and disappear before they come off, no one will have any idea who you are. That's true. And the dress is your exact size. She raised an eyebrow. Because I had it made that way, I admit. She'll know as soon as she puts it on anyway. Her aunt is one of the seamstress in the palace, which means Sophie has a comprehensive knowledge of these kinds of things. It's one of the reasons no one had any problem with me appointing her as my lady maid, despite her being younger than the woman who would normally hold such an important position for a crown princess. I hope it didn't make her too many enemies downstairs. She may say it hasn't, but I'm not an idiot. I can tell there's more to it. You're not going to stop until I say yes, are you? I will, I promise, but only if I think you're saying no because you don't want to go and not because you're worried about getting caught. She lets out a small laugh. Will you settle for I'll think about it? Of course, but I really would like you to come. You're my closest friend, and it wouldn't be right to have my birthday and for you not to be there. I mean every word. I meant every word of it. Sophie's job may mean she's supposed to know all of my secrets and keep them, but that isn't why I confide in her. I trust her with my life, something I'm sure she knows. I'll think about it, she promised. Thank you. I appreciate it. I smiled at her, hoping she sees how serious I am. But now we need to get you dressed, she says. By the time we're done, people are going to have started arriving, and I know they say it's fashionable to be late, but we both know that isn't true. And certainly not if you're a princess, I add. Exactly. 1 minute late and it's a problem. A minute early is a problem too, I muttered. Precisely. You need to be exactly on time, and it's my job to make sure you are. It reflects poorly on me too. That's the last thing I want. I know. She tidied up my tray, which I'm glad for. I'm not sure I could have eaten more, even if I wanted to. My stomach is in knots while I consider everything that needs to be done over the course of the day. I want to make sure I give the right impression to everyone visiting, and I want to make my parents proud. They have no doubt I can be the heir, which means I have to prove them right, which all starts with dressing right. I push my chair back and head over to my dressing room, where Sophie will help me transform into the princess I am. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 1 of book 2. And y'all let me know what y'all think. Should I continue to read? And which book should I read for May? I would appreciate your opinions. Thank you so much. I will see you later. Bye.